speech on hippotherapy. What is hip about hippotherapy? Better yet, are hippos actually used? According to the American Hippotherapy Association, hippotherapy is a physical, occupational, or speech and language therapy treatment that utilizes equine movement. It literally means treatment with the help of a horse. All treatment is delivered by physicians and licensed credentialed therapists. Why a horse? A horse provides a dynamic three-dimensional movement that cannot be reproduced in a clinical setting. Studies show that the pelvic movement of a horse closely mimics that of a human. A horse takes 120 steps per minute on average. That equals 120 chances to experience movement unique to any other therapy tool. A treatment of hippotherapy provides exciting, sensory-laden environment. Motion, heat, sight, smells, and textures like that of a saddle pad or a saddle generate meaningful responses in patients. While riding, a range of stimuli is given to patients to process without them even realizing it. According to occupational therapist Tricia Coates, each minute astride a horse stimulates a child's brain with up to 1,000 nerve impulses. Along with physical and sensory benefits, there are social benefits. Many people with disabilities have a difficult time forming emotional ties, especially children. The amazing thing about horses is they accept without judgment. Communication with a horse can be met with one word or a simple movement. Beyond the horse and rider relationship, there are also 3 to 4 people at each session of treatment, 1 therapist, 1 to 2 sidewalkers, and a horse handler. A different social opportunity is provided by each person that is present. Self-esteem is also something that a patient takes from their therapy. The ability to control a large animal can be carried with them through all parts of their life. There are many benefits to hippotherapy. These include, but aren't limited to, body awareness, coordination, muscle strength, gross motor skills, balance, range of motion, mobility, oral motor control, and sensory processing. Because of these benefits, hippotherapy can be used by many people with varying disabilities. Some of these include autism and cerebral palsy. Autism spectrum disorder is a disorder that affects the development of the brain. Some of the difficulties that go along with autism are verbal and nonverbal, not being able to understand verbal and nonverbal cues, sensory processing, and social cues. A child with autism can communicate through a horse with just movement. This leads to a sense of self and body while increasing contact and interaction with the outside world. Cerebral palsy is a neurological disorder that affects muscle tone, movement, and motor skills. This makes the simplest of movements, like standing still, difficult. When someone with cerebral palsy uses the rhythm of a horse to develop and normalize their muscle tone, it can lead to sitting, standing, and sometimes even walking. For an individual living with a disability, hippotherapy means so much more than sitting on a horse. It is a wide-reaching treatment. It can be used for 2-year-olds all the way up to adults. It's typically known for helping children, but hippotherapy has recently become popular in treating disabled veterans. As stated by Larry Pence, a retired Navy commander who founded Horses for Heroes, disabled veterans learned that they did not leave the best part of their lives on the battlefield. Finally, this is 8-year-old Adam Wolf. He was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at the age of 1, when his mom realized that he was not meeting the typical milestones of his siblings. He uses a wheelchair most of the time. With hippotherapy, he is now able to stand for short amounts of time, and just as importantly is his newly acquired self-esteem. Before hippotherapy, he would only draw pictures of himself from the waist up. Within a few months of riding on a horse and using his legs, Adam accepted his whole self and drew an image of his entire body. In closing, Hippotherapy is a unique therapy that uses horses to meet physical, cognitive, and social goals. While meeting these goals, patients build relationships and self-esteem. Finally, I will leave you with a picture and a view into the world of a hippotherapy volunteer as she watched a family begin their journey into healing. This is what she saw. Pride soon shows on their faces, and tears well in their eyes as they realize their child is doing something special. The child, confined to a wheelchair, has never walked or run, but the horse becomes her freedom. These are other testimonials of hippotherapy. Thank you for your time.